The United States of America, the land of the free, the greatest nation to ever exist in the history of the world. A flawless example to the rest of the world on how a democracy should be led, governed, and adored. If only all countries were as perfect as the beacon that is the United States.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully...
Oh, that sounds like... I am running and gonna win again.
I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
95% tax on Zin. We gotta get that removed, President Trump.
Whether you live in the States or not, it's hard not to be entertained by the election every 4 years. The excitement.
I know Donald Trump's type.
The drama.
She went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now.
It's better than the World Cup, Super Bowl, any event you could possibly think of. It really is, and good for us. We're just getting to the climax of it all very soon. So I'm gonna give you a refresher, a rewind if you will, on all that has taken place so far as we approach the peak of the mayhem. Think of this video as something you watch when a new season of your favorite TV show drops, and you need a reminder of what happened last season. Now, when did the election chaos truly start? There's a lot to choose from: the Capitol storm of 2021, the first and second impeachments of Trump, the mug shot. But to make sure this is a video and not a documentary, we'll skip a few episodes to when Trump got shot. Mr. Donald J. Trump. Hero to many, supervillain to many, but everyone, or at least almost everyone, acknowledges that the shootings were a bad thing. And it's crazy that it's happened multiple times.
Donald Trump says he's safe and well after reports of gunshots described to have been fired in his vicinity. Local officials in Palm Beach in Florida say it happened in the grounds of his golf course while he was playing. An AK-47 assault rifle has apparently been recovered and a man is in custody.
The shootings have brought around many conspiracies that try to explain how these guys are getting so close to Trump. Some people believe that Trump orchestrated it all for his own PR. Others believe that someone in the White House is going after Trump's head. And the majority of people are just blaming the Secret Service's incompetent. Me personally, I don't think Trump could have orchestrated this because I don't think there's a sniper in the world who can aim with such precision from that far out and account for the momentary turning of Trump's head. And if there was a sniper of that skill, he would not be sacrificed for a stunt. I mean, if Trump's head wasn't turned in the exact angle that it was, this would be a very different video. I do think that it's a possibility that someone's trying to get him killed, but it's also a possibility that the Secret Service is just not doing its job. Either way, this moment created unprecedented support for Trump, and in fact, just a week later, Biden dropped out of the race. Now, Biden didn't just drop out of the race because of Trump getting shot. It was actually mostly because of Biden's interesting performance in his debate with Trump.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America, 1,000 billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look,
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it wasn't Biden's day. The thing is, everyone's always known Biden was too old for this, with him always making no sense.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
But this debate was the last straw. Trump didn't even put up a fight. He kind of just let Biden talk. Embarrassingly, even Democrats began to call on his withdrawal.
We simply asked him to make the very important decision of stepping aside and enabling us to defeat Trump,
in which he eventually yielded and withdrew from the race.
Vice President Kamala Harris has now earned enough delegate votes to become the Democratic nominee for president. So it is officially...
Now, there are definitely mixed opinions on the new Democratic presidential candidate, but to me, at least there is now an actual conversation to be had between her and Trump, rather than just Trump versus senile man. Now, on Kamala, she's had some very questionable behavior so far. People have been calling her fake for accent hopping.
Better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
And for some reason, she's got an agenda for just black men. Yes, an agenda for a specific race and gender, where she will be giving $1 million in fully forgivable loans to black entrepreneurs. Maybe Kamala didn't know this, but a loan is something you pay back. So what she's doing is she's just giving money. I would say that this is her buying votes, but no, not my dear presidential candidate Kamala Harris. She's not corrupt, she would never. What else do we have here? Education and mentorship programs for black men, protecting crypto investments for black men, a national health initiative that focuses on just black men. Oh, and of course, legalizing marijuana is here because Kamala knows black men love to smoke trees. But aside from that, the weirdest thing with the whole election so far has been both Trump and Kamala's antics to capture the votes of young voters. What you're seeing right now is surprisingly not AI. Yep, Trump on Aiden Ross's podcast, and then Kamala got back at Trump by going on Call Her Daddy, a vice president and presidential candidate on a sex advice podcast. And it doesn't stop there. You then have Trump bring on the Nelk Boys, who are a prank channel turned podcast, and their main focus is
95% tax on Zin.
That's not to mention endorsements from Jake Paul and TikTokers like Bryce Hall. Then you go to the other side of the spectrum and you have Taylor Swift and Eminem supporting Kamala, and Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce performing at a Kamala Harris rally. And this takes me to my next issue. Young voters. We all know that every single one of Taylor Swift's fans are going to be voting for Harris. Not because they know anything about politics, but rather because Taylor Swift told them to. And every Nelk and Aiden Ross fan is going to be voting for Trump. See, the issue is that no one is teaching young voters to have their own opinions. Social media algorithms have created echo chambers where platforms like TikTok and Instagram only show you what you agree with. So not only do you become programmed to take your opinions from other people, but it also creates a massive divide between you and the people who aren't consuming the same content. And where exactly can we draw this divide? Gender. Women today are more liberal than they've ever been, and men are more Republican than we've ever been. There was also a survey conducted where voters between the age of 18 and 29 were asked which of these topics mattered the most to them, and these were the results. I don't even need to say much. I could just leave the chart up there, it speaks for itself. But men and women are in completely different worlds, and I blame the social media machine that's fueled by billionaires who want nothing but to get richer. Honestly, I don't want to sound ignorant, with me obviously being a man and stuff, but the fact that the next generation of mothers care most about abortion is really concerning to me. The final thing to talk about is Elon Musk. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell does he have to do with the election? Well, to say he's Trump's biggest supporter is an understatement.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Trump and Musk have literally been having a glaze off in 2024 on each other. It all started with Elon's endorsement on X to his 202 million followers after the assassination attempt, then donating $106 million to the Trump campaign, appearing in Trump's rallies and doing his own rallies to campaign for Trump. He even goes on Tucker Carlson and says America will end if Trump doesn't win.
If Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have.
But the biggest thing of all has got to be Elon giving $1 million every day to Trump supporters.
Is there anything you want to say?
Well, thank you so much for... I truly believe everything you're doing. Yeah. Truly, you don't need to be doing it. I know a lot of us feel the same way.
And why is he going through all this effort? Well, no one truly knows a man's intention. It could be Republican tax policies protecting Elon's money, trade deregulation, or the opposition of trade unions. We just won't know why he's doing all this. But it's definitely not great to have a democratic system where one man can have such influence. Monetarily and using his platform and image, he is personally choosing to sway the election however he wants to. I don't think anyone can argue with the fact that this has been the weirdest and craziest election in US history, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. But me personally, I'm gonna get my popcorn and enjoy the rest of the show. My prediction is that they're gonna have a presidential boxing match to settle this and finally find the next leader of the United States of America.